Celestial greetings. I am here under the rainbow. You can fairly see it right now, and in this beautiful sunlight, little showers came down, and it is the promise of a rainbow. I had to get in this sunlight that was just beaming, and as I came out, I saw this rainbow, so I know it's my time to say what I need to say under this beautiful sunshine. Hi, banana tree. And a rainbow, just it's a double rainbow, but you can fairly see, like, you see the bow right there. Yeah, it's reminding you to go to that promised land within you. And mind you, it's just really bright right here, because if I turn the camera around, I'm actually going to turn it, it's like gray clouds, right? Like if I turn it this way, like that way, all the clouds are gray. Even behind me over there, it's gray. But when I stand here, I'm in the light, in a little sprinkle of shower, and under the rainbow, just so you know. So with that said, I would like to officially apologize for my sunken light, because I was getting such a fight. And this crystalline is new. Like, it's like being a newborn in a new body. You got to acclimate to it. I'm speaking for the crystalline grid keepers. And so this apology is for about 2 nights ago. I had such a huge fight as I came out of the new moon window, the detox. The very next day, I came out Saturday. The very next day, Sunday, double attacks, right? From a bloodline family member and from a non-blood family member, right? A landlord. And it's just like, what is going on? And the next day, same thing. Bathroom, mysteriously, pipes locked up, water coming up. So I am in a righteous anger. For those who caught it, you caught it. You caught it and you caught me, right? And I was in a righteous anger, not at the people, because I don't take it personal. I know this, especially of this order. I was releasing to the energies. And spirit was correcting me, so I want to stand corrected in this light, under this rainbow, to set the promise straight. The promise of the rainbow within me is to promise to align, to stay aligned to my crystalline. And it's to know that for the crystalline grid keepers, there's a place and time for things, and right now we're out of that space where we can have righteous anger. It's not that you can't be upset about some things, but to express through righteous anger, when you are a crystalline grid keeper, it is pulling away from that light, right? It's a lower vibration. Those of us who know. And there are people who are at a level where they can do it, they can handle it, and we have to leave it to them. There's a job for different dispensations of us. And so in that, because my throat chakra took the beating for that, and I had to sit with that all day yesterday, recognizing, having accountability for that energy. It just simply cannot be done. Some may argue and say, yes, you have a right to be in righteous anger, but the crystalline grid keepers cannot afford that. And for that, I apologize to those who may have witnessed that. I apologize for myself to the crystalline grid in and of itself, because I have an allegiance to that which I am. To whom much is given, much is required. So if you have been a part of the rebirthing, specifically the rebirthing that we just had on the new moon, and you got some of the messages that I had been given about that, it is for us, as we acclimate to these newer bodies, to the full capacity, the self-actualization of the crystalline body, that we have a responsibility to the crystalline grid to keep the vibrations at a certain level. Thank you, tree. So shall it be, and so let it be. There are those who can have the righteous anger, and until they get to that point where they will no longer be able to as well, because I got the retribution, the rebuke, I should say. And I have to say this before the end to those who have witnessed it, even in the live, because I was live wired on the live and released it to also when it was coming through other people. Nothing personal to them, simply speaking to the energies. However, the divine is highlighting and saying to me, that doesn't make it right. it is still not okay because it takes you out. Not that there's a right or wrong, but it is not in the upright of the truest timeline for those who are the keepers of the grid of Crystalline. And so I do not apologize to those toxic ones who received it and got hit with it because they needed to get the rebuke. They needed to get that, right? But it wasn't my place to do so. So my apology goes to, first and foremost, myself for lowering that vibration, because it takes away from the potency of the connection into the crystalline grid. And we need all the grid keepers on their highest potential, on their highest potency, because it is the consistency of your high potency that had got you there and here. So we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to the duty that is called as a crystalline grid keeper to hold those vibrations for one and all. So I set that apology, and under that promise that you saw of a rainbow, to not befall to that anymore. It was a major lesson. And secondly, I apologize to those who may have witnessed it, because I understand what it looks like when you see someone who is, it looks as if, as it was said, as if you're quick to anger. You know, granted, they had not been there to see the attacks that I had been under for the past 2 days. So it wasn't quick to anger at the person there. However, it was firecrackers popping off. Either way, so there is no excuse. So I thank you for bringing that to my attention. And I was not offended by it. I answered, but I was not offended. It was just to let you know, hey, there's righteous anger. But Spirit said, Crystalline Grid Keeper, do better than that. So I stand under that correction that was made. If you should see this, I don't remember the person's name, but if you should see this, I thank you for holding that in check, of reminding me of it, bringing it back to me, because that's what played back to me the next day when I sat with it within myself and the message was revealed, and that was played back, and I honored that, and I thank you, and I thank myself for receiving it. And I say to all of you crystalline grid keepers, we cannot come out of that crystalline connection. We owe it to the allegiance, and I apologize to that crystalline grid, because we owe the allegiance to stay divinely high potency connected, to keep up the grid and to help more who are rising into it. This is my oath. This is what I honor. This is my promise under the rainbow and in the light. Ashe, peace, and lots of light and love.